Okay, folks, good morning. And we're back here with a P-47 build that we were working on yesterday. Saving the best for last, definitely. This thing puts so many things to shame. And I don't mean the aircraft or the subject matter. I mean, this is like unbelievable quality model. I might even go as to say let me find out where I'm at. There we are. We're doing some kind of wing thing. Some kind of wang thing. I might even go on to say probably the best model I've ever built. Now this is, I think, a relatively recent model. Thought I read somewhere it's 2004, which as far as I'm concerned is yesterday, as far as some of these models go. Yeah, I think we're in this zone here. And just incredible. Just incredible how this thing builds together. Now, with that said, I think I'm going to actually prefer the Airfix models because the panel lines are thicker. But I mean, there's more detail inside the cockpit on this model than most models have all over the entire model. I don't know if it's accurate. I don't know that I'm going to worry that much about painting it because, you know, it's going to have a bubble top on it. It's going to have a closed thing. So, like, why go through all that detail and then you're not going to be able to see it? You know, I value my time, so. But the fit and finish on this is, you know, incredible quality. So I'm definitely looking forward to building another Tamiya model. Another Tamiya aircraft model. I've never built a Tamiya aircraft model before. It's only been 1/35th scale tanks. And I don't know that I thought that they were that special because that's all I built. But it's been a long time since I built a Tamiya tank. Anyways, this morning session is definitely going to be shorter than any of the ones yesterday because the party's over. We got to go to the salt mines. Luckily, it's a short week. What are you modeling? Come on, man, it's on the thumbnail. It's a Tamiya P-47. Actually, I probably should have put Tamiya on it because it does make a big difference. I started off with a terrible model. Not terrible. Extremely challenging model. And I still stand by I am not one of those people that wants to like, oh, this is too easy. I don't want to build this model. It's put well. It's put together too well. It's like, I want to buy a car that breaks down all the time. That's not a challenge to go somewhere and the car doesn't break down on you. You have to change the battery or. I'd like to spend most of my time painting this thing, not repairing it, getting it to work, getting it to fit, etc. All right, we're getting a little complicated here. This is piece A9. I mean, just having the names of the parts on here and not having to refer to another sheet is incredible. You just bought a Hawker Hurricane. I hope it's by Tamiya. I mean, it's unbelievable how good this is to put together. And the Airfix things went together really well. Okay? I'm not trying to bash Airfix, but this is incredible. I mean, this is like a work of art. I actually got this one for, I'm not going to say free. I am going to say no additional cost. Because it was from my model club drawing. They do one every month. They do actually two every month. And it only took 2 years to win one. Oh, which is fine. The nice thing about it is it actually took, that is A9, isn't it? It is? Okay. Then why aren't you showing, do we have an error? Do we have an error in the instructions? Every instruction has an error in them. I realize that. Well, shit, I make mistakes all the time. I'll say one thing and mean something else. It's not intentional. Yeah, it's an Airfix. £4 of a car boot sale. That's a great price. Now, I don't mean to brag, and I'm not bragging by saying this. I suggest people go and do this, but £4 is a great price. £4, $5.50, whatever it's up to, $6. That's a great price. I bought a Spitfire. It was on Amazon. I think it was $7.99 delivered. Great price on that. I went to a IPMS, International Plastic Model Society, whatever the hell it's called, thing, and people were selling things to move them. $4, $5 a kit. One guy even had 2 kits for $4. I'm like, is it buy one get one free or $4? He's like, yes. So I literally got 2 kits for $4. So that's $2 a piece. Bought a bunch of tanks that were $2 a piece. Price is stuff to move, and it's good because I wouldn't have bought any of it if it was $10 each. Because it's not an incentive for me to buy them. Like, I already had plenty of stuff to work on. And but yeah, £4 for a plane. That's a good price. You'll get £4. You'll get more than £4 worth of entertainment out of it. Even if you never paint it, just build it. It's like I mean, what can you buy £4 in Britain for? Not a pint. I don't think. I don't remember. I don't remember how much I paid for a pint in Britain. But I always knew that Tamiya was the gold standard with 1/35th scale tanks. I didn't know they were the gold standard for everything. Just amazing. Okay, so this is piece Oh no, I made a mistake. I'm the moron. Yay, I'm the moron. I look down here and I see, oh, 9. And I'm like, oh, this is 9-piece. No, it's not. It's 7. Ah, so sorry for doubting your prowess, great Tamiya master. Now, one thing I think that Tamiya is not very good at, I don't know how they are on the modern kits, but the older kits, does to tell you what color to paint them. Because they will suggest whatever colors they happen to have, even though they're not the right colors. So, I wouldn't go with that. You got to go to work. All right, man. Usually 23 pounds. Well, that's a big one. Yeah, I actually don't have any Japanese aircraft, and I look forward to building some. Let me paint one, and I'll decide. I like that Messerschmitt I painted. That's mostly complete. That's downed. I just hope I can. I'm happy with how my results are on a plane that's in better shape. I may not be happy with the results right off the bat. I'm sure I can fix it to a point where I will be. I got a lot of years painting experience, so. That's like the first time I built a medieval army. I've never painted medieval figures before or horses. I wonder how they'll turn out. I'm like, oh shit. This is a piece of cake. Well, I didn't start painting things in 2004. I'd already been painting them for 20 years. Maybe 8 years of painting them worth a damn at that point. So, like, I've never made a metal finish on an aircraft. I'm sure it'll turn out just fine. I got a clue and lots of examples on the internet. This might actually be... Well, we're not doing this one first, that's for sure. The details on this thing might be a little too true to scale. All right. This, I believe, has a clear piece here, so we're not going to glue that on there yet. All right, A34. Let's not be a moron and grab the right piece. Yeah, I gotta go to work too. Unfortunately, it's one of those days. I like mixing up the models in the painting because somebody might be like, ah, there's some jackass that paint stuff. I'm like, oh, you're a model builder like me, you know? Mix it up a little bit. What happened here? Oh, that looks like the piece was mismolded, but that's how it is on the end. I don't mind mixing it up as long as I'm mixing it up with things that I'm already doing. I'm not gonna be like, all right, we need some more subscribers, so let's go ahead and do reviews of pool cleaning supplies. Like, that's not what I do. I don't even have a pool. Like, I'm not gonna do shit that I don't do. That would be like ridiculous. Unless the purpose is like, hey, let me get views by making a moron out of myself. All right, I'll show you how not to skateboard. That would actually be a good example. Like, how to play golf wrong by a moron, you know? This has a couple of clear points. Make holes. All right, why do I need to make the holes? What do you want me to mount on there? Because I may not do it. If you want me to carry ground attack stuff, okay. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Well, I haven't built a shitload of them. I haven't built a bunch of aircraft models, but this is actually something super handy. So I gotta put my glasses on so I can see what I'm showing you. All right. So you've got here's the front of the aircraft, and it tells you if you're escorting bombers or if you're doing ground attack, the different kind of attachment options you have here for the aircraft. Welcome. I don't know what you're writing though. It looks cool. You should have been here yesterday. I was working on a Soviet aircraft. It was. It unfortunately was a nightmare, but we got it done. Not because it was a Soviet aircraft, but because there's a lot of things that you take for granted. That's, you have a piece you have to attach, have a hole, and then a peg that goes in the hole so you know it's located, or but just like, it was like free form. It's a bit free form. Let's see what this says on here. Pitting the P-47D bubble top. Basic camouflage for the U.S. Army Air Force was composed of olive drab for upper surfaces and neutral gray for the lower surfaces. However, from December 43, the newly produced aircraft left bare metal. Wow, I would have thought it would have been later than that. Many of the latter production subtypes of the P-47D were turned out from the factory unpainted. The P-47s deployed at the Battle of Normandy in June 1944 had the undersurfaces of their wings painted in black and white stripes as distinguishing marks. Sure, those look great. These marks, which were seen after Normandy, proved vital for the P-47Ds as they served to identify marks for during dangerous ground strike missions. Well, don't strike against your own aircraft and against their own ground forces so that they won't shoot you. That's all it tells me. Okay, the only thing I don't like about this is kind of my quandary, is the two decal options they give you here. Are both for air superiority fighter groups. Applied decal 41 prior to 44 and 45. Oh, is there like a yellow circle and you need to put the eagle on top of the yellow circle? No. That's the only thing is I totally want to make a ground attack, but I don't want to do it with either one of these two units because these are fighter groups. Not that they didn't do ground attack, but it wasn't a ground attack dominant group. So what I'm going to do is I'll put ground attack stuff on it, and then just I might get a different decal set. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, falling asleep a little bit. I drink so much coffee it puts me to sleep. We'll drill these things out. You can always fill them in later if that's not the case. All right, let's get our. That's why this takes so long to do, because I'm trying to be careful, and like there's no rush to do this. All right, we're gonna need to get a height advantage here to find out where the pin vise is. It's just a little smaller than everything else. All right. This is like this. And this one's like this. Are there any holes we need to make in this one? No, they just want me to paint the inside now. I will do no such thing. We'll paint the inside stuff when we paint the inside stuff. This is the one where you have to drill the holes. Okay, they give you the holes here to drill. Looks like it's here, here, here. I gotta look at it this way, I guess. This is this one. This one's this one. The other one's this one. And the other one's this one. Okay, so we need to go these holes right here. Not really a fan of doing. I also don't want to bend the piece. Okay. Did that part. Now we'll flip it over. So now it kind of makes sense. We need piece 821. Here it is. and A33, which is right here. Why they decided to make this a separate piece and not mold it with everything else, I have no idea. Wow, what an incredible finish. That calls for a drink. That's the biggest thing I do now from being a kid. I test fit everything. Or I try to. I try to remember to test fit everything. I'm sure I've missed it a few times. But I never claimed to be a good model builder. Not that I'm terrible at it. My ability is going to shine on painting this thing. Maybe not painting this thing, but painting things. H11, so they do want me to paint the underside of where the little lights are. H11, X11. What the hell color is X11? Chrome silver. The entire plane is chrome fucking silver. I think I'm going to watch a couple of videos. I'm probably going to paint something different underneath it. And we won't install that until the plane's done. What's up? Good morning. Oh, top of the morning to you. Okay. And this A33 isn't exactly going in. as easy as it should. Okay. You can't slide it in that way. You have to back it in. You almost don't even need glue there. Okay, that's where the glue points are. Okay, cool. We'll drop the thin cement in from the back side. Okay, and we're going to drop this on top of this wang, which we got some glue points here, a couple little dots on the edges. Right. You have, this model's incredible. You know, if this company made everything, I would say don't buy a different company. And of course, there's going to be dickheads that are going to be like, "Oh, did I mean to call them dickheads?" Yes. They would say, "Oh, this isn't challenging enough. The build's too good." These are the same people that buy ripped up jeans that are completely ripped. Shit that doesn't work. Oh, it's more challenging. I'm challenging my job every freaking day. I'd like to challenge myself with painting, not putting something together. That Ukrainian aircraft was. I'm sure some people have been taken to the hospital before. The fits that aircraft has caused. I may actually steer away from anything from Eastern Europe. They are, they're not well designed. They're not well designed at all. That goes for all of them. I built Russian stuff, it's no good. Ukrainian stuff, I can make it work, but it's issues. The Polish stuff is probably the best. But lack of instructions. I'm not in a hurry building this, but I'd like to spend most of my time painting it, not building it. There's a difference between building something and cleaning things up and being their QC. And that's what you feel like on some of this stuff. It's like, man, did anybody check this thing at all for fit and finish? And this thing builds itself. Now, with that said, these panel lines are a little too realistically sized. So I might actually prefer the Airfix panel lines. Okay, there's that wing. Let's go to the other side. Do the other wang. The detail inside this cockpit has more detail than most models have. It's unnecessary. Well, you should see their 1/48 scale, kids. I don't do 1/48 scale. I don't. I don't like it. And it might be because I was scarred as a child from my train railroad days. Would you build a model like this again? Not only would I build a model like this again, well, I'll let you know after I paint it. This might have the detail a little too realistically sized. But I did look at everything else at Tamiya off. I've always been a Tamiya fan, always. And before there was even this Tamiya glue, because we used to use testers, this Tamiya glue didn't exist here in the States in the early 80s, 1990s, early 90s. Not anywhere around me. So I'm new to this. I'm not new to their models. I bought many of them. I bought at least probably 40 models of their tanks, but all 1/35th scale. I'll never buy another one of their tanks. I don't do that scale. Another scale I don't do. But their aircrafts. We gotta drill stuff too. Their aircrafts. They don't have a really good selection. But this thing just goes together incredible. I don't know that there's I don't know that there's an actual vehicle in real life that has this kind of precision. It's pretty damn amazing. The way this thing went together, it was just, and the cockpit, things slide inside the other one. Like, okay, let's slide it together. All right, now drip the glue in there. Boom, done. You don't like big scale models, 1/100 scale only. Well, I wouldn't mind smaller. I don't want to go bigger. If I couldn't do this scale, if it would never been invented, I would do 15 millimeter. I have a lot of 15 millimeter. It's just not World War II stuff. Now I don't know where the hell I'm going to store all these planes because they take up a lot of space. Especially that MU-110. That thing I had the wingspan of a bomber. I was really surprised. It was like freaking the wingspan on that thing is like this. It's like, wow. I guess they got to keep twice as many people up in the air. The only thing I don't like about Tamiya is their paint. They don't have an extensive line. I used to love their paint. But that's back when there was enamels. So like, their alcohol-based paints are a godsend if you're dealing with like freaking enamels. I'm not painting with enamels. I like free thinner. Free brush cleaner. And acrylics have come a long way. There's a million different options. Now, I've never done a metal finish on a plane, but I'm sure we're going to kick it square in the ass. I've just been painting for too long, and there's too many examples of people doing it all kinds of different ways on the internet that you can see if you like the end result. And go in with that information. You don't even have to do it the same way they do it, but just kind of see the steps that they go through. Because my plane ain't gonna look like this. There is not enough. The panel lines don't pop enough. They don't need to pop and like a lot, but they need to pop off more than that. That's like hardly showing. That's just a little sad. I can do better than that. So, like, that's just not my style. This is like showroom quality style. You know, like comes out of a showroom. Okay, we need A22. I'm doing the same way I do my tanks. We're going to give them a brown wash. I think I am anyways. I did it with the crashed one. Of course, it's all up in the dirt. A22, this one does not have that little panel there. Okay. Yeah, so their painting instructions, it's not even their paint. They don't have an extensive line of colors. Or they didn't used to. I'm not saying they have 4 colors, but they're always going to recommend their paints. They ignore everybody else's, you know? But yeah, I'm totally building another one of these. It's funny, this is the best model, and it's the cheapest model because it doesn't cost anything. So, you know, I don't want to like get a free model and not build it. That's like bad form. But it's a totally different level building something like this because not only does everything fit together well, but there'll be like prongs that go in somewhere and they could be every which way. Normally other people give you a hole, they don't give you a hole. This one gives you like a slot, so you know the orientation of it as well. You know, you have to go out of your way and build it wrong. Okay. Now what do they want me to do? The wing, the Flügel, the Alle. Oh, I've already put together this top. Where you been? Completely different than that damn cowling on that Ukrainian aircraft. I may not glue the wings yet on. I may not put them on until the end. Might make painting a little easier. There's something I did recently that I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't follow the instructions because it's a lot easier to get to the... I mean, this thing's going to require some really close painting. And I'm going to buy some plastic spoons. I'm going to buy some plastic spoons and spray a few plastic spoons. I've got it narrowed down to, it's mainly like which one of my colors do I want as the main color in the stainless finish. Not really stainless. I guess it's aluminum. I guess they're aluminum. Aluminium. Back. Would you ever do a Japanese zero attack plane? I would, but I don't get excited about zeros. I'd rather do, my first Japanese plane's got to be a Tony. Or a Japanese float plane, one of those Pete's. Little Dominion. I don't know. I may not do any more. I may actually not do any more biplanes, and the reason why is because I'm not going to do wiring on them. I'm just not going to do wiring on a biplane, period. Look at this. You don't even need glue. And I built a few of their ship models, and their ship models are great. But if all you do is build this stuff, you forget how good their stuff is. And that's very different than don't ever build a Tamiya kit because you'll never, you'll never get better. That's very different. That's like, you're going to build two, build a shitty one first, then build the Tamiya, and then you can really appreciate how good it is. Just, I mean, just no fuckery at all. Like, bam, that's where you go. Yeah. This is why I only drive Japanese vehicles. This is better than a Japanese vehicle. They got this shit down. And this model's still 20 years old. But 2004 is the other day as far as models go. When you build in 1964. And this wasn't terrible, but you had to fight with it. But yeah, I plan on doing Japanese aircraft. Matter of fact, that's one thing I mentioned. I'm actually going to be on the lookout for one. I've never painted one. Never built a Japanese aircraft of any kind. Oh, this one fits sloppy. There's some play in it. Just wish they made more stuff. And 1/72. And it's time to fucking stop. I hate that. Damn it, we just got rolling. I didn't do any painting this weekend because it's 100 freaking degrees out there, literally. And I didn't feel like doing that. Let's see what this thing looks like, wingspan. We're gonna pull this back out, but I've never seen where they give you like a slot for this to like be in reinforcement of it. Jeez. It just goes together like nothing else. I might not glue the wings together. Because first of all, I can glue them in here. So in other words, I can glue the wing to this and not glue it to the other part when I am done. So I don't have to worry about the paint ruining it. And it might be easier to like, when I'm working on just the wing, just to detail it and not have this other part of the aircraft cluttering and getting in my way. Yeah. Off to the Western Front. See you later. You drive a Honda CRV. Yeah. I got a Subaru WRX. So, all right.